Earlier this year, Anthropic released a dedicated design tool called Claude Design. You describe what you want in a chat on the left, and then it builds a real working version on the canvas on the right side. Slide decks, landing pages, app prototypes, and more. That sounds pretty straightforward, but there are some crucial steps to include in your design process with it that, if left out, will leave you with generic, unusable output. And these steps are all completely beginner friendly, so in this video I'm going to show you what Claude Design is, the essential steps for using it for a real design project, and how to build your first real design without ever leaving Claude Design. Let's get into it. Okay, starting with the basics, since this video is for all of you who are brand new to this app. It's a relatively new product from Anthropic, powered by the same AI models that you get in Claude Code and the standard Claude chat, and it lives at claude.ai/design, but you can also get to it from the left sidebar of the Claude web app. As of filming this, it's no longer in research preview, but it is still in beta, and you need a paid plan to use it. This means at least the Pro subscription. At its core, you describe what you want from it, whether it's slides, an animation, a prototype, and Claude generates a first version on the canvas, then you refine it. Under the hood, it's writing real HTML and CSS and rendering it live. That's why the prototypes are actually clickable, because it's real code. But instead of just talking about it, let's dive into a real design project created entirely inside Claude Design. Let's start off with a quick overview of the Claude Design landing page. And like I said, you can get here either by going to claude.ai/design, or from the Claude web app, you can use this design tab in the left sidebar. Now, this interface that you first land on should feel pretty familiar to you. The heart of it is the chat box right here in the middle, and then you have a few tools in the bottom left to give Claude Design more context about your project. In this dropdown, you can attach a file. That could be a screenshot of an existing design. Alternatively, you could attach an entire folder as well. If you already have a codebase that you want Claude to pull from, you can either connect your GitHub account or link a codebase that you have stored locally on your machine. If you already work in Figma, you can upload a .fig file and have Claude Design turn your Figma file into real HTML and CSS. Then in this last section, you can attach a design system, which I'll touch more on in just a second. Now, just like in Claude Chat, Claude Code, or pretty much any other agentic AI coding tool, you have access to skills. But right now in Claude Design, you only have access to 6 different skills tailored to each type of design that you can create. But luckily, front-end design especially is a very powerful skill that I highly recommend you try out to get better design taste from Claude. I also have 3 dedicated videos on Claude skills on my channel, so if you want to learn more about skills, go check those out. Then lastly, in this dropdown, you can manage your connectors. If you don't know what connectors are, they're MCP servers which let Claude communicate with outside tools. And luckily in Claude Design, you have access to all the connectors that you've already set up in Claude AI. For example, if I wanted to have Claude study existing UI screens on Mobbin, that would be possible because I have this Mobbin connector set up. Claude could essentially go to mobbin.com on its own and study the best practices for whatever type of design I'm creating before it starts building. Now, the next dropdown is for design systems, and this is one of, if not the most core feature inside Claude Design. Now, you have a few different options for creating or importing the design systems like the ones that you see listed here. If I hit this Create Design System button, the first option is Create Here, which means you're creating the design system inside Claude Design. Then it walks you through a setup process, which I'll show you more about in a bit. Then this template dropdown is just where you tell Claude Design what kind of design you want to come up with. This is the exact same as these cards you see down here. You're just specifying what kind of design you want to make so that Claude Design comes up with the right thing. This isn't essential though when you start a project, and you can just say start a blank project. The last piece of this chat box up here is the model selector. This is where you select the AI model that you want Claude Design to use to generate your design. If you're building a simple design, I would recommend you use a model that uses less tokens, like Haiku. But if you're working on a more complex project that you want Claude to think harder on, try a model like Opus or even Fable 5, but just know that these two models will use a ton of tokens. Sonnet is usually my go-to model because it's a good balance of AI intelligence and token usage. Also, you may have heard that Claude Design uses up a ton of tokens and will lead to you hitting your usage limit fairly quickly. This is still the case, so I recommend you reserve Opus and Fable 5 for your absolute toughest and most complex tasks. Now, moving on, the rest of the interface here is pretty simple. You have your existing projects that you've created inside Claude Design. You have the design systems that you've created or imported, and then you have templates which set the output type and skill, if you used one, up front from an existing project. Now that was just an overview of the landing page. Now let's get into an actual project. Like I said before, design systems are pretty much the core of Claude Design and its value proposition. Let's go back to the setup page for creating a new design system. Now, quick note, if you feel more comfortable creating your design system in Claude code, you can create it there and then bring it over to Claude Design using this /design_sync command. Just know that this method can take a long time depending on how big your design system is, and can use a lot of tokens compared to just building your design system inside Claude Design. So for this demo, I'm going to go back and create it here. Now this step for setting up a design system is pretty simple. In the first field, you're going to put your company name. My fictional company name that I want Claude Design to use is Solon, and it's a climate tech company helping factories reach net zero emissions. Then this next area is everything you're going to give to Claude Design if you already have your design system existing somewhere. So if it already exists in code, you can attach a GitHub link. If the code for the design system is on your computer, you can attach it here. Or if you have a Figma file for the design system or any fonts, logos, or assets on your computer, you can attach those too, but this is all optional. Now, because I already know a couple of the fonts that I want to use, I've attached them as zip files, Playfair and Enter. Then the last field is any other notes. And this is where you can give Claude Design some guidance about how you want your design system to look and feel. If there's any particular guidelines you want Claude Design to follow for this design system, tell it here. Now, something you might be thinking you want to do at this point is attach some reference images of some design inspiration. This is actually not the point where you do that, but you will be able to do that once your design system is created and you land in the canvas view. With that being said, let's hit continue to generation and hit generate. It'll take about 5 minutes. Now, whether you're inside a design system or an actual design file, this view is going to look pretty similar. You have your left sidebar, which is where you have the conversation with Claude, and then this huge space on the right is essentially a canvas where you can view either your design system or the designs that you've generated with Claude. Then over in the bottom left of this sidebar, you have all the same options that you had on the landing page in Claude Design, attaching a file, connecting some code, and it's not too late to upload a Figma file. With that being said, I'll be back once this design system is generated. Alright, now let's finish the build of our design system, and here it is. It starts off with a README file at the top, going over the details about our brand, the products we offer, content fundamentals, and this was of course all generated by Claude Design without much context. All I told it was that my brand is called Solon, and just one quick sentence about what the company does. But regardless, we now have a starting point that we can work off of. The README also details the visual foundations, including color, typography, spacing, layout, and more. Then if I close this README section, we have this brand section, and here we can see how all of those brand guidelines that it discussed in the README are manifesting visually. The placeholder logo types it came up with, guidelines about the brand voice, and an entire color palette that we can now use to build an actual app. Check it out, we have all these components built out, which would be used to generate a UI, effects like border radii and shadows, and then what's super cool is in this platform section, it generated a full interactive clickable dashboard for our brand, including 5 different pages based on what it thinks our brand's product would include. It's definitely not perfect yet, and this is still just a first draft, but part of the design process, of course, is iterating on it, which we're going to do pretty soon. Going back to the design system page, just to show you everything that's included in a design system on the first pass. In the left sidebar, you can see you get a README file, brand guidelines, a color palette, components, effects, platform, which includes the UI that I just showed you, spacing values, and a typography scale. Now, your design system isn't going to come out perfectly tailored to your vision on the first pass. So this is where the editing functionality comes in. Let's say I don't like the look of these alerts in our design system. From this view, I could go over to the left sidebar and describe what changes I want made to them, but instead, let's hit this edit button for the core components section. Now we have a dedicated page view for this particular section of our design system, and I have editing options. Again, I could prompt the change that I want through natural language, or if I want to make specific manual changes, I could hit this edit button up here. Then you see the left sidebar turns into a dedicated editing panel, similar to what you would see in Figma. This is one of the great things about Claude Design, and what gives it a leg up over something like Claude Code for designers. When I select any of these components, I get a dedicated layer tree, buttons to add text, shapes, or a frame to add an entirely new section, and you get all these property editors down here. Background color, corner radius, even width and height settings, which isn't quite as relevant in a design system, but it is very relevant if you're editing a design file, and plenty more. Check this out, all your typography settings, layout settings, which is similar to auto layout from Figma, all the way down to advanced settings to go straight to adjusting the CSS for an element. If you were wondering what the value proposition of Claude Design is over something like Claude Code or Codex, I'd say this is a big part of it. You get this whole editing panel rather than having to make all your changes and iterations through prompting, which you don't always want to do. Sometimes you want this manual control. Then if you don't want to see all of these editing options, you can switch to the Simple tab, and this just gives you the most core editing options. Then if you're more of a CSS kind of guy, you can switch to the code panel and make changes to the CSS directly. So like I was saying, let's say I want to make some design adjustments to these alerts here. I'll select this first one, and instead of this very subtle look that doesn't really stand out much, I want to use a more bold color palette. So I'm going to change the background color to a darker green. I think something like that looks good, not too saturated. Then I'll select the elements inside the alert, open color, and then I want the color of everything inside this alert to be white. For the look I'm going for, I think this is looking quite a bit better. So the thing about Claude Design is that it actually doesn't support automatic edits, as it says up here. This means that after I've made my changes to the design system, I have to hit save. And then Claude has to actually process these changes through a prompt. This obviously is not ideal, and this is why you might prefer a design tool like Figma still, but I think eventually they'll make it so that you can make automatic real-time edits without any waiting after. Now check this out. If I go back to the design system page, and I go down to the platform dashboard that we looked at, since these alerts over here are components, and I just made changes to the color palettes of the components themselves, these instances are now reflecting those changes. You make the changes to the components themselves, then the changes reflect everywhere else that they appear. Now, aside from the left sidebar and the edit button in the top right, there's also a couple other ways to make adjustments to your designs. This tweaks button and this annotate button, which I'll dive into in this next demo. Now, this is very similar to the type of project that you would build inside a community like AI Makers Club, and they're the sponsor of today's video, so let me tell you why this community matters for designers like you. It's a community of creatives, and the format is simple. Every Monday, a new brief drops. One page, one specific challenge, just enough guidance to get you moving. You spend the week building it inside whatever stack you want, mostly using agentic coding tools like Claude Design or Claude Code. On Sunday, you post what you build and take a look at what everybody else built as well. What's different about AI Makers Club is the accountability that it holds you to. A brief that gives you a time constraint forces you to actually finish it, instead of endlessly building a side project that you never end up shipping. That's the trap that most people building with AI fall into, myself included sometimes. You don't know how to code going in. Members of this community have built AI tutors, a finance dashboard, an app with paying customers, all without a technical background. And you get all the support you need when you get stuck building your next exciting project. It's $69 a month, which is the founding rate, and that price is locked in for you once you join. Free trial for 5 days as well, making it no commitment. Link is down in the description to get started, and I'll see you there. As you probably know, a design system is mainly for user interfaces. Think dashboards, SaaS platforms, mobile apps, any kind of UIs that you interact with. But what you can also use Claude Design for, and it's not listed in any of these cards, is websites. And this can be a full multi-page website or just a single landing page. For this next demo, I'm going to show you a landing page design for the same brand that we just made a design system for. And I'm going to kick off this project in this chat box up here. Something I very often like to start out with for a design project, whether it's a UI or a landing page, is give my AI agent some reference images as inspiration. I have a certain look and vision that I want to achieve for this landing page, so I'm going to show Claude what that looks like visually. I attached 5 different designs from mobbin.com of landing pages from established brands. They all convey the look and feel that I want for my landing page, so this is going to give Claude a great starting point to work off of. I'll say design a landing page for Solon, and I'll also re-explain what the brand is in case Claude forgot. To give Claude some more guidance, I'm going to say use the attached reference images as design inspiration, particularly with regards to the color palettes, typography, and layouts. Remember when I mentioned skills earlier? I'm going to attach a skill. This front-end design skill is going to be the most relevant one for this landing page. Try to be as detailed as you can with this first prompt so that you get a solid foundation to work off of. Let's hit prompt. Now check this out. A lot of the time when you start a project with Claude Design, it'll have some questions for you. First off, it's asking me which palette direction from the references, and that's a great thing for Claude to ask because one of them is a warm color palette while the rest are pretty cool. But I don't have to pick one specifically. I can choose explore a few options. For the typography field, just like for the design system, I want an elegant serif display, and then for the body, I want a clean sans. For the hero imagery, I think an atmospheric nature photo fits my brand. Now I've answered the next couple questions, and the last question is, is, how many full design variations do you want? Since I want to explore some different looks and I'm okay with burning a bit more tokens and taking a bit more time, I want 3 different options to compare. So now we can see it's building out the 3 variations of our design, and we can see the second one getting built out in real time. I'm already really liking the look of this third one. It looks really dark, atmospheric, and on brand. So now we have 3 different looks with the same content for the most part. A light and airy look, then a warmer, kind of anthropic / Claude style look, and then a much darker, modern looking style I would describe it as. Now I think this first variation is actually a great starting point to work off of. I generated this image that's going to look really nice as a hero background. So let's get that inserted and then go from there. Like last time, I'm going to use the edit button, and then I want the image to go in the background of our hero section. So I'm going to select the container for our hero. Then in our editing panel, under appearance, I'm going to open background, choose image, and then upload that image. Then I don't think this element has much of a place in our hero section anymore, so I'm just going to select it and then delete it. But I still want our hero section to be a bit taller, so with it selected, I'm going to change our height setting from hug to fixed so that I can specify a manual pixel amount for the height. Then I'm going to crank it up a bit, just about there. Now that's looking pretty good, but since we have this empty space at the bottom of our hero section, I think this whole trust logo section can go there. There we go, dropped it in the hero section, and then I just added a subtle background with a 20% opacity, just to give all this white text some contrast against the background. One more thing I'm noticing is I think this nav bar would look a lot cleaner if it matched more of the overall color palette of this hero background image. So with it selected, I'm going to open the background field again. And then in this case, I can just use the eyedropper tool, and this is going to let me select a specific color shade on the page. So I'm going to go right up here in the middle and select that color. Now it's blending into the hero background a lot better. Now, like I said, you have a couple other options to edit your design besides just the edit button. If I select tweaks, you'll see in the left sidebar that I can now describe a tweak that I want. Whatever tweak I ask for, this is going to create a dynamic control that'll let me instantly adjust the look of our design. For example, let's say we want a tweak for changing the typography system from the current one to a 100% sans serif one. Now check this out, I have this new tweaks window with this new toggle that I asked for. Right now it's selected on serif sans, which means I have a serif typeface paired with a sans serif typeface. That's what we have now. But then if I switch over to all sans, just like that, our entire landing page is sans serif. This is the value of adding tweaks to your design. You can compare different variations of what is nearly the same design super quickly. I could also ask for one for spacing values, whether I want it to look more compact or more spaced out. I could ask for variations of the hero background. The possibilities are really endless with this. Now heading over to the annotate button. This is where you get to prompt Claude Design visually. You don't have to write out everything in natural language. And for certain design edits, this ends up being a lot faster. Check this out. Let's say I want these key stats to stand out a bit more and just look more bold overall. I can select this section directly, and then describe the change right here in this chat box. The key advantage of this is that I don't have to spell out the exact name of the element that I want to change. Another way you can use this annotate tool is by just drawing anywhere. When I've roughly drawn around this 38% statistic, Claude already knows that the change I'm going to ask for should be made directly to that element and nothing else. So let's just try prompting that change for all of these stats here. I'm saying make this section stand out more. These are important stats and they need to grab the visitor's eye. Just like that, I see that prompt appear in the left sidebar. This whole section has a dark mode theme, and these stats stand out a lot clearer. So just remember that these are your editing options. You can give a general prompt in the chat box, or for anything where you want to be more specific, edit, tweaks, and annotate are your friends up here. Now, let's say you're happy with your design and you're ready to export it. Unfortunately, Claude Design does not offer a native way to host a website like this on the internet. However, that is something you could do by hitting share in the upper right, and then hitting send to, and handing it off to Claude Code. The bidirectional handoff from Claude Design to Claude Code is a huge selling point for Claude Design. Claude Code is where you could send this off and actually host it on the internet using a method like Netlify or Vercel. Or you could even continue iterating on your design inside Claude Code if you're done working on it inside Claude Design. If I hit send, all I have to do is copy this prompt and paste it into Claude Code, or you can just download a zip file of it, which is oftentimes more friendly if you're using the Claude Code desktop app or web app. But let's say you just want to download this landing page as a file. You can go to this export tab, and then you have 6 different options here: PDF, PNG, video, PowerPoint, a zip file, or standalone HTML. Obviously, for a landing page, standalone HTML would make the most sense. But if you generated a slide deck, go for PowerPoint. If you made an animation, go for video. It all just depends on what kind of project you worked on. Lastly, you can share the link with anyone who wants to hop in this project with you on Claude Design. So that's Claude Design. Quick recap, it's a conversation on the left, a live canvas on the right, and it's writing real code under the hood, which is exactly why the prototypes are clickable and the slides come out polished. Connect or generate your design system first, refine in small pieces instead of regenerating everything, and remember, it's a powerful first draft, not the final version. Even if this tool isn't a full replacement for Figma or AI agents like Claude Code, it's still a useful tool to keep in your rotation, especially if you're a designer. If this video was helpful for you, subscribe and let me know down in the comments what you're designing with Claude Design after watching this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.